The readings are critical. I can't stabilize him. Wake up! No, I can't lose you.
The throne room of the Veyrath Empire was silent. Thousands of alien eyes watched me as I stood alone beneath the towering crystal arches of the royal palace. The floor reflected the stars outside, making it seem as though I was standing in the middle of space itself. I was a human. And according to almost everyone in the galaxy, humans were supposed to be weak. The Veyrath considered themselves the strongest species ever to evolve. Their warriors could lift vehicles, survive extreme temperatures, and heal from injuries that would kill most intelligent life forms. To them, humanity was a curiosity, a young species from a forgotten corner of the galaxy. Nothing more. At least, that's what they thought. I stood before Queen Seraphine, ruler of 7,000 star systems. She sat upon a throne carved from a single piece of black crystal. Her silver eyes examined me carefully. Around her stood generals, nobles, scientists, and royal guards. Every one of them looked at me with amusement. The queen leaned forward. "You are the human ambassador." "Yes, your majesty." A few nobles laughed. The queen silenced them with a glance. Then she stood. At nearly 8 feet tall, she towered over me. Slowly, she descended the steps of her throne and walked around me, studying me, evaluating me, like a predator examining prey. Finally, she stopped beside me. Then something unexpected happened. Her eyes narrowed. She was staring at my hands, specifically the scars. Then white lines crossed my knuckles and wrists, old injuries, the kind most humans stopped noticing years ago. "What happened to your skin?" she asked. I looked down. Life. Several aliens exchanged confused looks. The queen reached toward my arm. "May I?" I nodded. Her fingers touched another scar running along my forearm, a deep one, the result of an accident from years earlier. The queen's expression changed, confusion, then disbelief. "How are you alive?" The room grew silent. I blinked. "Excuse me. This wound should have severed multiple arteries." It almost did. The queen looked genuinely disturbed. "And you survived?" "Yes." The room erupted with whispers. I didn't understand why. To me, scars were normal. Every human had them. But apparently the Veyrath viewed injuries differently. Their advanced biology healed almost perfectly. Scars were rare. Major wounds often meant death. To them, surviving such damage was nearly impossible. The queen continued examining me. Then her eyes found another scar near my neck. Her expression darkened. "That one." I smiled slightly. "Motorcycle accident." Several guards stepped backward. The queen stared. "You damaged your spinal column and survived. Doctors fixed most of it. You returned to normal, mostly." The queen looked as though I had just broken the laws of physics. Then she whispered the words that would change everything. "What are you?" The room fell completely silent. I couldn't help laughing. "I'm human." "No." Her voice was barely audible. "Humans cannot be what you claim." I glanced around the chamber. Every alien present looked equally shocked. Apparently, nobody had told them how durable humans actually were, and things were about to get much worse. A week later, the Veyrath military invited me to observe combat exercises. Officially, it was cultural exchange. Unofficially, they wanted to figure out whether I was some kind of biological anomaly. I wasn't. I was average, painfully average. The training grounds stretched across several kilometers. Massive alien warriors demonstrated feats of strength. They shattered metal blocks, lifted armored vehicles, survived impacts that would kill most species. The Veyrath officers watched me carefully, waiting for amazement. Instead, I nodded politely. "Impressive." One officer frowned. "Only impressive." I shrugged. "We have athletes who do remarkable things too." The officer looked offended, then fate intervened. An equipment malfunction caused a gravitic crane to collapse. A massive steel support beam snapped loose. Everyone heard the warning alarm. Too late. The beam fell directly toward a group of technicians. The Veyrath froze. Not because they were cowards, because calculations told them they couldn't reach the technicians in time. But humans are strange creatures. We don't always calculate. Sometimes we move first. I ran. The world blurred. People shouted. The beam crashed downward. I slammed into the nearest technician, throwing him aside. Then another. Then another. The support beam struck the ground where they had been standing moments earlier. The impact launched me through the air. I hit the dirt hard, very hard. For several seconds I couldn't breathe. Pain exploded through my ribs. The entire training field became silent. Eventually I sat up, groaning. Ow. Thousands of aliens stared. One technician pointed at me. His chest is crushed. Another scanned me. Several ribs were fractured. One lung partially collapsed. The Veyrath medics panicked. I coughed, spat blood, then managed a weak grin. Anybody get the license plate of that thing? Nobody understood the joke. The Queen, who had been observing remotely, arrived within minutes. She knelt beside me, scanning my injuries. The medical readings horrified her, yet I was still conscious, still talking, still trying to stand. "Do not move," she ordered. "I'll be fine. You are dying. Temporary problem." The Queen simply stared. Because for humans, recovery is expected. For the Veyrath, survival itself was miraculous. Months passed, the story spread across the galaxy. Human biology became the subject of endless research. Scientists discovered things that shocked them. Humans survived diseases that constantly evolved. Humans adapted to environments that should have killed them. Humans repaired broken bones, recovered from organ damage, endured psychological trauma and kept going. Entire civilizations became fascinated, not by our strength, not by our technology, but by our resilience. The galaxy had spent thousands of years pursuing perfection, perfect genetics, perfect medicine, perfect safety. Humans had evolved differently. We weren't perfect. We were survivors. There was a difference. Eventually, Queen Seraphine invited me back to the palace. This time the atmosphere felt different. No one laughed. No one looked down on humanity. Instead there was respect. The Queen dismissed her advisors. Soon we stood alone beneath the crystal stars. She looked at me thoughtfully. "When I first met you, I believed humans were weak." I smiled. "A lot of people do," she nodded. "I judged strength incorrectly." I waited. The Queen walked toward the massive window overlooking the galaxy. "Our species fears injury. We fear pain. We fear failure." She turned. "But humans continue despite all three." I thought about humanity. Our wars, our disasters, our mistakes, our endless determination. The Queen was right. Humanity wasn't defined by victories. Humanity was defined by refusing to stay down. She approached me again. "This galaxy measures strength through power." Her silver eyes met mine. "Humans measure strength through endurance." I smiled. "That's probably true." The Queen reached out and gently touched one of the scars on my hand, the same scar she had noticed months ago, the scar that had started everything. To her, it was proof of something extraordinary, not because it represented injury, but because it represented survival. At last she laughed softly. "You know, Ambassador." "Yes?" "When I first saw your scars, I thought they proved you were fragile. And now," she smiled, "now I understand. They are evidence that humanity refuses to surrender." Outside the palace windows, thousands of stars illuminated the darkness. Worlds beyond counting. Civilizations older than history itself. Yet among them all, humanity had earned something priceless. Respect. Not because we were the strongest species. Not because we were the smartest. But because whenever the universe knocked us down, we got back up. And sometimes, that was the greatest strength of all.